This weekend, Houston is one of 59 communities across the country coming together to bring awareness to the third deadliest cancer in the nation. We're talking about pancreatic cancer and the effort to eradicate the disease. Some 2,000 people are expected to take part in Purple Stride, happening at Houston Sports Park. KPRC2 producer Jason Wynn is one of the MCs at this year's Purple Stride. Jason's joining us now in Studio A to keep this important conversation moving forward. Jason, first, for people who are not familiar with this effort, with Purple Stride, what is it?
So Purple Stride is a 5K, 1 mile walk, and I like to think of it as two things. One, it's to honor those folks that are currently battling the pancreatic cancer, or that may have, survived it, just flat out survived it. And we've kind of got to honor those folks, because pancreatic cancer, there's like a 13% survival rate right now. When I first got involved in all of this, it was like at 5%. So we've made some stride, but we're still talking about a sliver. So those folks that survived is an important thing. And then we're also walking and running to remember those who we've lost, right, from pancreatic cancer, because it's such a deadly disease. I mean, 51,000 people is like the National Institute of Cancer is saying that will get diagnosed with pancreatic cancer just this year alone.
Yeah, it's heartbreaking. You hinted at when I got involved. I know this is more than just a passion project for you. This is very personal.
Yeah, so my mom got pancreatic cancer. So she passed away from it in 2012. And that photo right there, that is the last picture that we took at a Purple Stride. So I've been a part of 4 cities that have had pancreatic cancer. They had the Pancreatic Cancer Network involved in it.
So you do this for mom? You do this?
Yeah, well, it started out as mom, but then it became like a community thing, because each one of these communities, they're all walking through the same thing. And here's some stats for you, because I know you like statistics, Zach, and being on the investigative team, we've got to give them to you. Here in Texas, according to the Pancreatic Cancer Network, a little more than 4,500 Texans will be diagnosed with pancreatic cancer, and just 25% of those, or around 25% of those folks, are expected to survive. So there's going to be families, roughly 4,500 families that are going to get that same conversation that I did, that their loved one has pancreatic cancer, and that's just for this year. And to come talk to me about the whole Purple Stride, PanCAN is the co-chair of the Houston chapter of the Pancreatic Cancer Action Network, I guess I should call it. This is Camille White, everybody. And Camille's, you got involved kind of 3 years ago, right?
I did.
Tell me about your story with PanCAN.
With PanCAN specifically, it was a new journey for me. About 3 years ago, as you mentioned, my father passed from pancreatic cancer in 2006. So long time ago. And at the time, I didn't really know much about any of it. I had already moved out of my parents' home, had already gone off to college, so I really didn't see a lot of what was going on. But he only lived 6 months after his diagnosis at stage 4. Fast forward to 2021, and I get that diagnosis for my husband. Game changer, right? Devastating diagnosis. My finding of PanCAN was one of the ways or reasons that we actually made it through what was to follow.
Well, they're helping support some 2,100, 2,200 people here locally, and a lot of the fundraising goes to those efforts and helping out Houstonians and people all across the country with some of this stuff, because they really came in and helped my mom, and how we kind of navigated that whole thing, because this is stuff that comes on pretty quick, and a lot of times people are like, well, I just got diagnosed, and then the next thing you know, they're in a pretty serious radiation treatment. If folks are lucky, they get the Whipple procedure. My mom was lucky. She was one of those, got the Whipple procedure. Your husband did too, right?
My husband did as well, yes.
For folks at home that don't know what the Whipple procedure is, what is it real quick? I know you're not a doctor. So,
I am not a doctor. I'm not a doctor. The Whipple procedure is a very serious surgery. They go in, they take out a portion of the pancreas, they take out the gallbladder, they take out a portion of the intestine, the lymph nodes, all sorts of things that you really need to digest food and truly function if you're planning on eating anything. And it is a very long surgery. My husband, it took 9 hours. They were expecting 6. And he was in the hospital for a week. and then released. And you essentially have to learn to eat all over again, right? But in another way, it is a blessing because it's better than the alternative. And there are very few people that are even eligible for the surgery.
Yeah.
And that is the piece that is so important. And you have to have it, has to be caught at a certain stage, and it can't have progressed beyond a certain point, otherwise it's considered inoperable.
And for folks that get that procedure, they become survivors, right? Because
Yes.
the goal is to get them past that 5-year mark, that 13% survival rate. And one of the things that I loved when I came to Purple Stride here in Houston, the first year, my girlfriend and I, we kind of just wanted to be willing participants and to see. We actually took some photos of you and your husband, but that survivor line was really, really long. There's a lot of survivors here in Houston, which is kind of encouraging from my journeys. I've been in Portland, I've been in Cleveland, Salt Lake, and here in Houston, and seeing that many survivors is so good. You came up with the fundraiser. You've got Operation KPCA, right?
That's
And I'm not going to say what that acronym stands for. You can go look online. But it's very important for you and the team to do fundraising for this. You had I think it was a skeet shoot recently.
Yes.
We've got some video of that. We'll play that here. And tell me about that fundraiser and why it's important for folks like you to raise so much money for Purple Stride or some of the other events that PanCAN puts on.
Absolutely. At the end of the day, we need money, right? And when I say we, I mean pancreatic cancer. The funding, the research, all of that takes money. And there are a lot of other cancers that are more prominent in terms of the statistics with higher rates of incidence, right? You have more people that have breast cancer, you have more people that have lymphoma, leukemia, things like that. They are no less horrible, but at the end of the day, pancreatic cancer does have a much higher mortality rate. The statistics are far grimmer. So even though it's a smaller group of people that are impacted, it does not mean that we can't focus some of our efforts. So part of me getting through the journey with my husband was trying to find a way that we could make a difference and make an impact. You know, why was it impacting us and how could we give back? And discovering that there's just so little focus and attention on pancreatic cancer and on the fundraising, that's when we decided to partner up with PanCAN, and when we found Purple Stride was something that does raise money annually. It is a nationwide event. We wanted to make the biggest impact possible, and in order to do that, we now have our own fundraisers throughout the year. This past March 1st, we had our second annual clay shoot, and we raised over $50,000 that was in turn donated forward to PanCAN.
That's so amazing. What I do like about you guys is that you honor folks with the wall, and you show their picture. I mean, you showed my mom's picture, and you didn't even know who I was at the time. I think that's super cool that you keep these memories alive.
We have to, because at the end of the day, that's why we're doing this. Whether it's a loved one or a family friend, it's the human element. You know, we look at these statistics and we hear of all these things on the news, and it doesn't touch us in our hearts, right? But when we put the faces and we remember, this is why, this is the person that we lost, this is the person that touched our hearts, this is the person that mentored us or coached us, whatever it is, chances are you either know somebody or will know somebody that has been impacted by pancreatic cancer, and those memories are the ones that we want to cherish. And so we display them as our Operation KPCA warriors at all of our events.
One of the things I want to just kind of bring this home to is that the money that you raise goes to places like MD Anderson, who's currently got one of the pancreatic cancer grants, so they're funding the research here locally. So some of this money really does go to benefit us. Now, the race is Saturday. We start to open it at 7 o'clock in the morning. Tell me about the race, what people can expect for the day, and can they still sign up?
They can absolutely sign up. You can even sign up at the time of the event. If you don't want to do it in advance, just show up. Houston Sports Park. The gates are going to open at 7 o'clock. We're going to have a band with some live music. The HPD Lion Dancers are going to be there.
They're great, by the way.
Oh, they're amazing.
They are
Dragons, just fantastic costumes. They're going to have a complete play area with inflatables and games for kids, so it is definitely a family-friendly event. And most importantly, we're going to have community. That's where you actually see the impact on the Houston area and how many people are impacted by pancreatic cancer. You're going to get to see and meet the survivors, other caregivers, and that sense of community. It's the energy is amazing because you have all of these people coming together and realizing that they're not alone, that there are resources, and that there's hope out there. And those survivors in the white shirts, that's why we're doing this.
And the caregiver part, so important, because there's somebody there that you can lean on, and there's people that you can learn from. So it's going to be a great event. Roughly 1,700 to 2,000 people are going to be there. We hope you all will join. Zach says he's going to come out and do the run, the 5K run. So that's the plan. We're going to get him there. But for right now, I'm going to send it over to Zach because it looks like he's got some good stuff with the city of Houston happening.
Yeah, that was all good information. Thank you very much, Jason. Before we head to break, it's a big day for Texans. That right there on your screen is all the information you need if you want to participate in Purple Stride. But